This is Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado news on seconews.org, and this is About the Valley. This is the episode I've been teasing everyone with for a week. We've been talking about the history of About the Valley and how we're going to expose some of that for the people of Southeast Colorado. Of course, the premise is that our presentation of About the Valley is as a business and community-oriented community affairs program that is dedicated to the people of Southeast Colorado. So we're going to be hearing from various businesses. We're going to hear from various government agencies on this program. And we're also going to be hearing from local clubs and organizations and nonprofits. So it's a big palette, a big plate, and we're going to fill it up. And we're going to start off with this history episode, if you will, because today is history. We're going to make the handoff of the About the Valley branding and program from another generation. And we've got Bob DuBois, who founded Stage One Video Productions. And he did that well, I guess we need to just talk to Bob about the history of it all. So, Bob, we know that the video side of About the Valley didn't come first. You have a media background, if you will, prior to that. And it's all kind of spun out of your business, which has primarily been real estate, right?
Yes, that's it's been a circuitous route.
Okay, there we go. A circuitous route.
We moved to New York in 1980 to buy an old resort hotel.
Okay.
Went broke and had to start doing new things. And so one of the things we did was established a magazine, a regional called Adirondack Bits and Pieces.
Okay.
It was a local interest for people in and around the Adirondacks of New York.
Okay.
Of people, places, things of interest, calendars of events, that kind of thing. And when we moved to Colorado, then I had gotten involved in video in the meantime. And which is, of course, a lot cheaper when you have your own equipment and you can go out and do things a lot less. There's no publishing.
Yeah, you didn't have to own a printing press.
Exactly. Or
rent one.
Or pay through the nose for a publishing house to be able to print all that. So
right.
So we had produced a movie here, The Murder of Sergeant Macklin, when we first got here, and a few other regular videos. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, then this idea of using the Adirondack Bits and Pieces concept on video here came to mind. Mm-hmm. And so we started putting this together, called Lynn Niston, who was an old-time workhorse with us for many projects over the years.
Okay.
To be the hostess. She was tickled pink. She loves
she liked being
show
in front
business.
Of she liked being in front of that camera.
Absolutely.
You could certainly tell watching the old episodes.
Yes. And Vince Gearhart had been involved as a director of photography or camera operator for Macklin, and so he became the camera operator for this video project.
Okay.
For About the Valley.
I think he's gonna be excited when we bring it full circle, because we're gonna be talking with Vincent about Golden Plains Insurance here in a couple weeks.
Okay,
on
good.
The program.
Good.
And so it's going to be kind of refreshing to come back and we're going to interview the old cameraman.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And he'll be sitting in the other chair.
Vince, yeah. Howdy, Vince.
Right.
And Karen was continuity. And so between the four of us, basically, we put Karen was involved in makeup and wardrobe coordination and such and all this type of concern in a project like that.
Right. She was the mother hen on set.
She was the mother hen, yes. She kept us all in line. And we had 2 cameras and 1 operator, so we had a mixer involved for the video and set up a little studio in the Ark Valley, let's see, what was it called? Arkansas Regional TV, ARTV, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, ARTV.
It was just kind of prospering at the time or involved at the time.
A lot of rural households couldn't get television were it not for the service provided by ARTV.
Exactly, yes.
And so part of that service, they had what you would consider a public access channel.
That's what it was, basically, that we tapped into.
Okay.
And they cooperated and ran the show for us every week. We did a total of about 60-some shows, I think, all told, over a 2-year period.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So a 2-year period. So you started about 99, 98, or?
Yes, it must have been 99
Okay.
because it was 2001. So we did 2 seasons,
Okay.
two full seasons. And it was 91 when I was doing one show and had a heart attack.
Oh, my.
And the show ended, and so did our smoking the same day.
Yeah. That'll put the nix on that habit.
It did. Yes, it did. Yeah.
So very good. Glad to hear you're a non-smoker now too.
For 21 years.
Very nice. I'm a decade behind you, but
Okay, well, still a good start.
yeah, it's a nice accomplishment.
Yes.
Anyways, besides kicking the habit, how did you come back to do it years later?
I didn't. We just did it for those 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it has so About the Valley, from my perspective, has not been involved in doing anything since 2001.
It's 20 years ago since the last episode of About the Valley aired.
Yes.
And I think that is amazing, the timing of it all. So I'm
a generation ago.
Yeah, I feel like it's really providence to bring something back like this for the community when we have a gap in local programming. So we're going to focus on the audio till we get our feet under us. We're going to work on adding some video to the programming later down the road.
Good.
So that way we'll be more comparable to the original.
Yeah.
But so you did over 60 episodes of it. We had Vince Gearhart behind the camera. We had Karen making sure that the set was coordinated for the camera, including costume and dress and all of that.
Right.
Lynn Niston as the host. And some of the businesses that I saw on there. Are there any familiar ones you want to mention particularly that stand out?
I've always been fascinated by how did they do that kind of thing. How are machines designed and developed to do such fine, delicate work ad infinitum,
right,
without wearing out or breaking or something else. So I've enjoyed watching these shows at the national level. How do they build this, or how does this made?
Yeah,
and so I've always. So one of my focuses on the show was such things as DuBois lockers, Lewis Nut and Bolt, Holler Seeds, various things, as the companies. So we could go into the company, interview, and talk to the people doing this, and show how these products are developed and built. It's just a personal satisfaction.
Well, when you've got America's largest locker manufacturer in your home turf. And then you have Holler Seeds. At the time, they were doing business. Like when I interviewed them in 2004, I was working at the Daily Gazette, and they were selling seeds in over 90 countries.
Oh, yes.
So that's phenomenal that's coming right out of the Arkansas Valley.
And they also developed their own sorting machines and sifting machines and things. That was part of the episode.
So
just interesting things.
So I'm going to have to follow back up on all these, and we're going to go revisit DuBois Manufacturing, Lewis Bolton Nut.
Good.
And I know Holler Seeds has changed hands, and the operation has changed a bunch. So we'll go see if they want to talk to us and tell us about their changes.
Yes.
So very cool.
And then, of course, one of the episodes was Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Which was really a kick. It was very interesting. I forget the man's name right now, but it was a very interesting episode, and his creations are very imaginative.
Yep. I've already, certainly with like Grunt Blades out in Ordway. Now he does custom knives, but he does like Damascus twisted,
right?
Forged custom.
Yes.
I asked him how many hours do you put into a knife, and he says, "Well, 25 if I lie to myself."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's making some artwork out there in Ordway.
Yeah.
And very handcrafted. He was on Forged in Fire, the History Channel TV show, recently.
And see, this is the kind of thing, Adrian, where Adirondack Bits and Pieces came from and then was transferred to this idea. We have, in our family history, made major moves from time to time.
Right.
And coming into a new area as a newcomers always see things that locals don't.
Right.
Because they've lived there all their life. And I mean, when we first got here, we were talking to people. We did an episode on Ben's Old Fort.
Of course.
Talking to people who were born and reared here, raised here, and had never been to see Ben's Old Fort. Didn't know what it was about.
Right. And that's amazing because it is a national historic site, and it is well renowned.
The Kiva, the
Kashari
Kiva up here, they have people coming in from all over the world as well.
Yep.
To meet and greet and learn how this Kiva was built and see the museum and learn the dances and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a world attraction.
Exactly.
We have several of those around here.
We sure do.
And so the idea behind these shows then was, and the magazine, was to introduce people to their own backyard.
Yep. Yeah.
And the fascinations that are involved in some of these things.
Very awesome premise to build the show around. Mm-hmm. Useful public information in a creative package.
Exactly. Yes.
Delivered to folks who may not be expecting it or didn't realize they had it in their backyard.
We had comments about that from the show. I didn't know that was even here.
Yeah. So I know we're going to be talking about stuff like the largest dinosaur track site in North America.
Speaking of world famous.
That's within driving distance, kind of in our backyard.
And eventual hiking distance, too.
Exactly. After a 6-mile one-way hike.
Yes, indeed.
There's a shortcut, though. I actually already have the shortcut documented on the website.
Cool. Good.
Yeah. So we're all about giving you that local perspective of the sites that the tourists are coming for.
Exactly.
But our locals often overlook them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's about a lot more than just a tarantula migration.
Yes. Yes. The old saying, "No man is a hero at home," applies to attractions and other people of interest in the area.
Mm-hmm.
That because they're here, they can't be special.
Right. Because that's just the guy down the block.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep.
Even though the guy down the block may have a hell of a story.
Yep. Well, very cool that About the Valley was created to bring those hell of a stories from the neighbors
yes.
To the public.
Good. Yes.
All right. Very cool. Is there anything else you want to add, Bob? I feel like we're going to end up doing this again because I feel like a couple minutes just isn't going to be enough.
Well, that's fine. I always enjoy talking about this interest anyway, so that's fine with me.
All right.
And I'm glad to see you. Thank you, Adrian, for taking on the gauntlet and running with it from here. That's nice.
Yeah, it's refreshing to hear that it took 4 people before, and I'm doing it solo.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Bob, and it just means the world to me to be able to use your brand on my media network.
Well, you're more than welcome.
And so thank you so much for taking the time, shooting 60 episodes and building that brand. And what's funny about it is that About the Valley sign hanging on Colorado Avenue, where DuBois Realty used to be.
Right where it came from.
Where Total Health is at right now.
Right.
And Sherry's always been a great supporter of Seco News.
Yes. Yes, she
that
has.
signage is still in the window for 20 years since the show's been on the air.
Yeah,
and so
true.
It feels really good. That sign's never getting scraped off.
Speaking of coming full circle, huh?
That's right. Full circle right around the valley.
Yes.
Right here on seconews.org. For Bob DuBois, I'm Adrian Hart.